Bitcoin, August 21st. Like other days, we're starting on a 4-hour chart on MEXC, but the truth is that the key to this movement has been visible in the long term. Come on, let's go straight to the long term. We'll set each candle to represent 1 week. And if you've been watching the previous videos where we discussed the forecast for 7 to 10 days, what we were always doing was looking at one of the candles we see here. We always warned in the long term that we were in an accumulation zone. I told you this was a distribution, accumulation, like we do in my course. By the way, I'm Michael Vasquez, and this is Daily Bitcoin Analysis. Let's continue with the analysis. What we were saying is that we were waiting for a markup. However, there was no evidence in the short term on the 4-hour chart. That's why we kept doing our trading, so to speak, our completely normal forecast, oblivious to that movement, knowing that in the long term it was going to appear. Suddenly it has appeared. We also have to keep in mind that the movement or the load of the accumulation movement has been normal. It has been a duration of approximately 2 months after the selling climax, which I warned you that at that moment the price was going to stop. It stopped and we entered that accumulation zone. Now, exactly what we are going to see already immersed in that long movement that is evidently affecting the 4-hour chart, scalping any of them, because the price of Bitcoin is one and only one. It makes absolutely no difference which chart you analyze. This is simply to see those Wyckoff phases that we are in. Very well, we are in a markup. The markup and markdown phases are always... If you are interested in making money with trading, whether professionally or as a side job, I have designed a course where you will stop looking at indicators and start understanding what the market is really doing, what the strong hands are really doing, and you will be able to make money the way they do. We continue with the analysis. They're very fast. The logic behind it, because you already know that what we are always looking for are the traps set by the strong hands, and what they do is simple: buy low, move the price very quickly, and sell high, over and over again. ALW, not always at the same ones, at the same levels, at the same prices, but there are prices that catch the attention of the strong hands, and they tend to use them continuously, which doesn't mean that they used them in the past and are using them again now. But in any case, you always have to be alert when we reach that zone. Very well, we have what we were saying about accumulation, and now we are in this markup, which is the most aggressive markup we have seen in recent history. Keep in mind that this is 1 week. If we go back, this is already in 2025. I mean, it is very, very aggressive, without a doubt, the most aggressive of all of 2026. Very well. What we have to do now is simply wait for the price of Bitcoin to stabilize. What does it mean for it to stabilize? That is to say that in the long term, it appears, as we saw here, this selling climax, we also saw it here, this selling climax. Now, it is very likely that we will see a buy-in climax, as it is called. That is to say, a long wick that is indicating to us that the strong hands at that moment want to stop the price, because a very strong opposing impulse is necessary to stop it now. Because with that candle, everyone is now buying Bitcoin. Not just people like you or like me who are interested in this world and I upload videos every day, but you are surely trying to get information often. But now, people who are completely unfamiliar with Bitcoin, this movement is going to reach them, and somehow they are going to sell their stocks, their oil, their gold, and they are going to buy Bitcoin. Therefore, to stop this movement, this upward force, a lot of downward force is needed now. That struggle of that upward retail force against the downward force of the strong hands is called a buying climax, and there will be a lot of volume while the movement doesn't move. In other words, that rejection wick will appear. For the moment, we are seeing a rejection wick this morning. That could be it, but it doesn't have to be. We can, I've marked here situations or zones where it's likely that movement will start. One of the most likely zones was 74. We've seen that this morning. It passed through that zone very easily. Another one, 79. We've seen that it reached 79 and is having a bit of a pullback. And another very important one is 82. I'm going to upload videos every day. Also, with these clues or with this movement, it's necessary to stay up to date and look for that accumulation, that lateralization. It's surely a distribution, because the strong hands have a lot of money in their coffers, and they want to start selling it because not only because of this accumulation, but the previous distribution only lasted 15 days, 2 weeks, when you're seeing that the lateralization movements are at least 2 months, if not more. That means that the strong hands still have a remainder of this liquid, of this distribution that they didn't complete, plus the accumulation they've done now. What they've been doing for 2 months is buying little by little, scaring retail. The price goes down, we buy. The price goes down, we buy. The price goes down, we buy. And when they considered it was the right move, suddenly an impressive amount of volume appeared. And they are just making money with that volume they're putting on the chart, putting into the market, but with everything they had previously. In other words, the price doesn't just go up because of what they're putting in new, obviously, but it goes up for everything accumulated. So it's a perfect business deal. We, as soon as the Wyckoff phase changes, we adapt to what the chart has given us. We know that at a given moment, that lateralization is going to happen. We'll probably take a little while to distinguish that lateralization from the fact that it still has that upward momentum, because those key moments are always difficult to distinguish, especially when it has the speed that it does. If the speed had been normal, like we've seen in previous years, look here. B, these are weeks. So in 4 weeks, which is a month, it's obvious that you realize something is changing and that the Wyckoff phase is shifting. On the other hand, here, by the time you want to realize it, you're already very much hooked. All right, that's the forecast, or what we have, the elements we'll need to be looking for during the coming week, but you probably already know that this weekend will be anomalous, surely. But what we've seen is that when the weekend arrives, the price goes into a kind of standby. It stops. And then on Sunday night, it activates again. In other words, there's like a parenthesis between Friday afternoon and Sunday night. It doesn't necessarily have to work like that this weekend, because clearly it's not a normal weekend. I'm going to upload videos. We're going to analyze these elements that appear. I also wanted to mention, in scalping or intraday, the movement is already quite evident that it's very, very difficult to enter short, even if there are pullbacks. We are seeing this pullback, which in a way you can take advantage of. What I'm telling you appeared, reaching an important zone like 79,000 rejection wicks, and you're going to see volume coming in. Strong volume comes in, here you have it. And those are the 3 signals to trade that pullback. It carries quite a bit of risk because the upward force is so great that even when those signals are produced, the pullback can be very small and you can get stuck. In any case, you will always see those signals. You can see that no matter how anomalous the market is or how anomalous the Wyckoff phase is, the signals appear and can be followed. If what you're interested in is scalping or intraday trading, the VIP Telegram now with the changes that have happened, there are a few spots left open. You can join by signing up on mxc.com and making your first deposit. MEXC, once they see you're an active user, will give you $50, and I'll give you free access to the VIP Telegram so you can see how it works, how we do intraday or scalping. I'm also showing you yesterday's entry for the challenge, the August challenge. As you can see, this move surprised me. I had to get out, and we've practically started the August challenge all over again. It's still in the positive, and the idea is to make small entries, $15, $20, and whatever I earn in that account, I'll raffle it off among those of you who meet the conditions I told you about for MEXC. Sign up and make a deposit. As you can see, even in the case of the most unexpected, most anomalous behavior, and the most contrary to our positions, we've managed to save this account. We have yesterday's challenge. I've set yesterday's challenge for you. I'm setting the TP for you. It's at 548. It's still in the positive, and like I told you, I'll raffle off whatever we earn. Mikel Vazquez, this is Daily Bitcoin Analysis. I really appreciate you watching this video, and as I always tell you, this is not financial advice, but rather I am sharing my experience with you after more than 15 years in professional trading. Stay very attentive not only to the videos that I upload with these new clues, but to the chart, because it is super interesting. Even if you don't invest in Bitcoin, Simply watching the movements the chart has given us is something that will be remembered for quite some time in trading. See you tomorrow.